you for doing this, Kyra.
Yeah.
Kyra, classes, what do we go under YouTube? What do we put it under? Pain-Free Posture or what?
Pain-Free Studio.
Pain-Free Studio. Thank you.
Yeah, I think, yeah, Pain-Free Studio. Pain-Free is 2 words there.
And you subscribe.
Right. It's great if you subscribe, then you get notified whenever I add a new one, but you can just go on there anyway. And hopefully we'll be doing some more professionally filmed things that are on there as well. You can also find those little 5-minute clips that we did on my website at painfreestudio.com. I haven't put any of the YouTube on the website or any of these classes because they're just too long. Okay. Grab a chair today also, or some block or something. We're gonna do some shoulder openers that you're gonna need to be able to put your arms up on something. So have that close as well today as we get started.
Kyra, you have to mute people.
Yes.
Oh.
I will mute you all. See you at the end. Okay. Come to your mat. Feet pointed straight ahead. And just place your hands somewhere on your body, either in prayer position or on your chest and your belly, and just check in. Take a few deep breaths and just allow yourself to show up in the present moment, to feel the sensations that exist here, and be reminded of just that inhale and exhale, that subtle connection to the expansion and contraction that we all have. And go ahead and let your hands come down. I want you to turn sideways today and just bend over like you're gonna do something, pick up something off the floor, and just be aware of what happens. Do you bend and round your back? Do you bend with a straight back? What happens when you just ask your body, or maybe you just know this? I found myself the other day bending over like this to do the laundry, and I was like, wow, my glutes are staying really short. My back muscles are being asked to lengthen, and this is a pretty unstable position for my low back. So I was reminded then to go more into this hip hinge where I could maintain this better neutral posture. So we've talked a lot about this cross function in the front. Last class, we did this cross function in the back. We have lines of fascia that go down the whole front of our body and the whole back of our body. And if you take your body into this position of rounding, which doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to do it. So there are certainly exercises sometimes where we want to go into that rounding, especially if your back muscles are so tight that you can't. But if this is the first position that you go into when you go to bend over, it's actually not the healthiest. So being able to bend with your hips and use these bigger glute muscles is going to be a healthier bend. But just do it for a moment and just see, like, what's your tendency? Is it to use your abdominals to bend? Is it to keep your glutes short? Or do you naturally hip hinge now, maybe because you've been coming to class for so long? What is what is the bend in your body? Just explore that for a moment. We're going to use that. So it's a test I've been using quite a bit lately. And just seeing what's the natural tendency there. Come back up to neutral. We'll work this back body a little bit. Fold your fingers to your palms. Bring your hands to your temples. Bring your elbows all the way together so they touch, letting the shoulder blades come off your back and then letting your shoulder blades come together on your back. All the way together, all the way back. Ten more. And release. Good, right into arm circles. Fold your fingers to your palms in that same golfer's grip, then float your arms up. Bring your arms forward, circling forward, 40 circles. Feeling that little oscillation, getting that bottom edge of your shoulder blade to be working to maintain that shoulder blade stability. Collarbones wide and release. Palms up and circling backwards. Get to 40 and release. Nice. Interlace your fingers, flip your hands over, take your arms up. Notice what happens in your back. Did your rib cage just pop forward? How do you maintain the lift at the back of the heart or fullness in your kidneys? Soft knees, lift them up, let your shoulders slide up and then relax them back down away from your ears. Then take your head back over your shoulders and then look up a little bit. Open up the muscles in the front of your neck. Go into that extension just a little bit. Good. Keep the fullness in the back of your heart the whole time. And release. Arms out to the side, right into a standing windmill. Exhale over. Inhale, lift. We'll just do 3 of these today. 1, 2, 3. Take it wider. Same thing. Squeeze your feet towards each other. Over to one side and up. Over to the other side. 1, 2, 3. Wider once again. Hug in. 1, 2, 3. Back in. Hands behind your head, elbows coming forward. Get really big and full in the back of your heart. And then sit down into a little bit of a squat. Then as you go up, let your body arc to the right and come down, little squat, arc to the left. Come down, arc to the right. Open up the rib cage, elbows narrow toward your nose. Little squat, arc to the left. Open up the side ribs, down and up. Down, sitting back and forward. Down and up. Down and up. Excellent. Okay, now let's go onto your hands and knees and make sure you have your chair or your block with you so that we can begin to go into those shoulders, and grab your block as well. So stepping back into kneeling, modified kind of counter stretch pose. So you can reach your arms over, elbows all the way to the chair. They could even go like hands into prayer. And then if you have places in your back that collapse easily, like behind your heart or specifically your rib cage, I want you to pull that up. There's like 3 places in your back. Your shoulders can go into too much extension, your rib cage could go into too much extension, or your low back could. Or they could be deficient in their movement. So maybe if your low back stayed round but your shoulders went down, it could look a little more like that. How do you get to neutral in your pelvis? So enough arch in the low back, but enough fullness in the rib cage that you're in that great lumbar and thoracic position, low back and upper back position, and you get to do some opening of those shoulders. Find that for yourself, best you can. And then with that block at your ankles, see if you can squeeze and release that. Find the glutes, but don't let the glutes take you any new place. Just squeeze and hold to create some stability there. Turning of the femur, accessing the glute, and breathe. Breathe and hold. The muscles of the lat and the serratus on the side are getting to open. Some work in that deltoid. Even subscap, you've got the muscles underneath your shoulder blade. 10 more seconds at least here. And come on out of it. Go ahead and push your chair, your block away. Nice opening of those shoulders that way, and then bring them right underneath your hands, underneath your shoulders. Then thread the shoulder, just let it retract, coming all the way together on your back. Again, stable in the low back. So notice if you just got too sway back there, give some abdominal support, some glute activation that we've been talking about, and just let it move through the shoulders, squeezing your shoulder blades onto your back, pressing your shoulder blades wide as you push your shoulders up or your rib cage up into your shoulders, coming down again. And then just notice what the flat parts of your elbows are doing. They should have a subtle rotation as you move in and out of that new shoulder position. And then come to neutral in your shoulders. We're going to do something called a chest opener, and that's to open the arm. You're rotating the arm. So imagine that I'm doing this, except that it's a closed kinetic chain exercise. So my hand doesn't get to move, so the rotation is driven up into the shoulder itself. So find neutral, and then move the arm bone, swiveling the arm bone in the shoulder socket in a chest opener. About 10 of these. And then come down onto your belly and stretch your arms straight over your head in a floor block position. If you have blocks that you want to put your arms up on, you may do that. Otherwise, just keep them on the floor. Feel this lat, the connection underneath your arm, down into your torso. Feel that working. Tuck your front ribs under a little bit. Allow your feet to pigeon toe, toes together, heels rolling out to the side, and then roll your upper arm bone outward and hold it. And just breathe any length into the space in the side body that might need to happen, or into that rotation of the arm bone. That may feel different from one side to the other. See if even here you can ask for space in your collarbones, pushing them a little bit away. And breathe. Let's do 3 full big breaths. Fully in, expanding laterally and into your back body. Exhale. Squeeze your ribs. Inhale. Open it up. Fully in. Exhale, fully out. One more. Fully in. Exhale, fully out. And then walk your arms into that Y shape out to the corners of your mat. Same thing. Open them up. Fully in. Fully out. Fully in. Fully out. Fully in. Fully out. And then straight out from your shoulders. Same thing. Get into that position. Take a moment there, collarbones wide, rotating your arms all the way back. See if you can get your thumbs to start pointing back to your heels. Front ribs pull down. Bring the breath to the back body. Deep full in, fully out. Fully in. Fully out. Fully in. Fully out. Then bring your arms back up over your head. 10 lifts with the right arm up and down off the floor. Then left arm. Then out to the corners of your mat. Left arm first this time. Left lift. And right, think of pulling the shoulder blade up onto your back and letting your arm react to that instead of the arm bone, instead of way out by your wrist lifting first. Get the shoulder blade to draw closer to the spine. Straight out from your shoulders. And left or right other arm, whichever one you've got to do still. And then bend your elbows. Have your arms in kind of a W shape. You're going to lift your wrist and elbow off the floor at the same time. And then try with hitchhiker thumbs to go back, like you're trying to reach back towards your bum and then release all the way down. So there's a lift and a rotation. It might not move very much, but you're finding those rotator cuff muscles, those external rotators in the back of the shoulder. And notice if your rib cage wants to just avoid that and move forward. The floor should be stopping you, but you might notice those muscles in the back get short. See if you can maintain a fullness back there still, even maybe pressing the legs down into the floor so that the kidney area and the rib cage can be more full. Lift, rotate, release. Lift, rotate, release. Keep going, a few more. and press yourself up onto your hands and knees, round and arch your back. Cats and dogs. All the way up, all the way down. Nice job. Okay, bring your right leg up into a square at the front of your mat and fold the left leg back. So you're going one forward, one back, working into those hips. And then just draw your body forward. So this will be an external rotated femur. We're going into the glute on this right side, this front side. So as you bend your torso, keep everything strong and stable. Go into the lengthen demand on that muscle, and then press your leg down into the floor so that you use that glute to lift your body back up. We'll move in and out of this a few times. Move slowly, allow your body to work and lengthen at the same time. Over, press the leg down, and lift. And see if you can do it with no hands touching the floor. Control it. So that's an eccentric contraction coming down, and then isometric and concentric as you come back up. Switch sides. One leg in, one leg back, making that square at the top of your mat. And just notice, how is it just to take your body into that position? And then go ahead and support yourself, torso strong and stable as you go over. Feel that length happen, and then press your leg down, let your body lift back up. Down and lift. No hands if you can. Over and press. Excellent. Come back to your hands and knees. Bring your right leg forward, coming into this left back hip. And just work neutral here. Find that stability. And then go ahead and bring your right leg out to this edge of your mat. And go ahead and reach down. You can take this back leg back a little more so that you're more on the top of the knee instead of right on the knee itself. And squeeze your hips towards each other so that they get really strong and stable. And then maybe try to bring your right elbow toward the floor and just let the inner groin on that right leg lengthen and this back hip flexor open a bit. Just breathe. How do you have muscles hugging to the midline and surrendering to this stretch at the same time? Squeeze in and open. Taking it back, switch sides, going to the outside, and then coming forward. This time the left elbow comes down toward the floor. Once again, hug in, back knee squeezing toward the front heel, and then open as the femur gets to shift in the hip socket. Find your breath, breathe into that expansion. Come out of it, switching sides again. This time take a stronger back leg and come up. You can just take a kind of high lunge here. So strong legs. This front knee can be right over the heel or over the arch, you choose. Back leg lifting to the sky. So we're in this one hip inflection, one hip moving into extension position. Stay strong here and just let the muscles work. Feel your right butt muscle push down to help ground your foot into the floor so you're not relying on that front thigh muscle so much. That glute is powerful and it can hold you. And this back inner thigh gets to lift, and even that back glute gets to work a little bit here. Okay, let's burn out that front glute a little bit. Bring that back leg in, bend that back knee, come into your short lunge. Hold it there. Press that front butt muscle down into the floor. Hold it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on out of it. Give it just a little break. Then go back into it. This time, take that back leg a little bit behind you. Send that back heel down. Going into this psoas a little more. Front muscle working. Reach your arms up. And then take it away from your back leg over to the side. So to the right, if the left leg is behind you. Open that psoas from the inner thigh all the way up to the connection in the ribs, in the low back. Open that up. Come back up, step to the front of your mat. Second side, coming way back into that deep lunge, all the way down. Back toes tucked under, back leg lifted off the floor. Hands on either side of your foot. Just hold it and breathe. You can refine it. Hips hugging towards each other, scissoring, front leg pulling back leg pulling forward. Find, again, this glute pushing down into the floor, root to rise. Find that butt muscle to add power and stability. Then bring the back leg a little bit forward. Take it into that short stance. Bend into it. Work the quad, work the glute. Hold it. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide the back leg back a little bit more. Come out of this, just give it a quick break. Go right back into it. And then once again, interlace your fingers, take them up. And then away from your back leg, going over, letting that back psoas have some length. From the inner thigh up to the lumbar spine. Open it up. And then step to the top of your mat. Explore your bend again. What's happening in your forward fold? Does it feel easier to go over than you did first thing this morning? And how is that hip hinge keeping the torso stable As you go over, reach to the floor and come up. Hopefully you have better hip flexor function. Do it a couple more times. Slight bend at the knees is fine. Yeah, explore that. Excellent. And then go ahead and have a seat. Let's go into a sitting floor twist. Both legs out straight in front of you. Take that right leg, cross it over your left. Take your right hand behind you. If you want to fold that left leg underneath, you're more than welcome. That changes the pose a little bit. Sit really tall, twist. From the base of your glutes, push down, root to rise here, open it up through the shoulders, through your middle back, finally your neck. Untwist, switch, left over right, right folded under if you want, or extended straight, twist, and breathe. Oh, I hear little feet. You can think of all of those cross fibers that we've been talking about over the last classes when we do twists. So what has to lengthen in the front, what has to shorten in the back to bring you into that twist. And release. Coming down onto your back into a crocodile twist. Extend both legs out straight on the floor. Arms out to the side, palms down. Put your left heel on top of your right toes. Let your left hip drive all the way from the inner heel. So let that be your turning point. Left inner heel, left inner thigh, up to the inside of that hip. Turning, and then let your head turn the opposite way so that your left side is reaching to the right, but you're looking to the left. Hold and breathe. All of those muscles in the front, those obliques, doing the twisting on the back, shortening. Good morning. Hi, sweetie boy. How are you? What happens when I have to twist to the other side now? Switch sides. Right heel on top of your left toes. Twist up and over. Right inner heel, right inner thigh, right inner hip. Rib cage going over, and then look this way. Breathe. Hold it. How'd you sleep? You did. Untwist. Feet on the floor, knees bent, pelvic tilts. Rock it backward and forward 10 times, letting your back flatten to the floor. Feel your hip bones and rib cage pull towards each other, and then send it out. Let your back shorten and let the front lengthen. Down and up 10 times. Let's do one more twist here. Back to neutral. Let's go into a modified IT band stretch. So take your ankles both wider than your hips. Let both knees go over to the left. And then hook your hook your left heel on top of the right knee and pull that whole right side. So we're going medial rotation of the leg up into letting a stretch happen in the TFL, into the quadratus lumborum and up to that side body. Reach your arm over your head. And just breathe some length into that line of your body. Eat some breakfast. Not quite yet. Come on up. Switch sides. Go watch a show. Take it down to the right. Right heel, left knee. Open it up. I'm going to wave to everyone and say goodbye. Oh. Should we do some push-ups?
Good morning, McCoy.
Good morning.
Take one more big deep breath into this whole side of your body. Reaching that arm over your head and then come on up. And grab your block and your strap. Place your strap around your legs. And then make it so it's about fist width apart at your knees. The strap all the way up to the upper thighs. And then do your best to find neutral. Pelvis in neutral. Low back, slight curve, and then check your shoulders so that each shoulder blade is collarbone open, shoulder blade tucked under your back. And then press straight out at that strap, press and release so that your outer thighs are doing that work. We get a little external rotation at the femur, but mostly just a straight abduction, press out. And you're going to feel it in these places in the front, maybe back toward the back of your hips. Press, release, press, release. And as you release, you might get some wobbles. Let your muscles find the right muscles to pull out with everything else being supported on the floor. At least 10 more. Now, bring your feet in a little bit. Lift your hips. Find neutral. Hip bones, neutral. Press out against that strap again. Press, release. So this time you're using your glutes, they're hip extenders. You're going into hip extension. You're holding this stable and pressing out at that strap at the same time. Press, release. Press, release. Give me 5 more. You should really feel that in that glute. Do you notice if it wants to turn your pelvis at all? You're being a brake with everything else in your body so that it doesn't rotate out of position, but notice if it wants to. And come on down. Do one more set of pelvic tilts. And then we're going to do that one more time. So back to neutral, hip bone to pubic bone level, slight curve at your low back. Just a set of, let's say, 15 presses. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then take it up. 15 more. Hip bones level. Everything in alignment. Shoulders 2. Press and release. Feel your feet all the way into the floor. Press out against that strap. Find your butt muscles. And come on down. Go ahead and take that off. And then make it small loop. And hook your foot on there. So we're going into kinetic chain a little bit. So now that you have good glutes working, better shoulder position, stability in your core, go into that hamstring stretch as far as you can, calf a little bit also, pulling those toes down. You're working the ankle into the knee, into the hip. Let's go ahead and send that other one out straight. Keeping that little curve in your low back. And just breathe and hold. You can play with the position of your leg. Is your inner hamstring a little tighter, or is the outer hamstring? Which of the 3 muscles on the back of your legs is holding that leg from going anymore? And if you go more, do you feel your pelvis tuck and your low back lose its curve? So how do you maintain that curve, butt heavy, tailbone heavy to the floor, while this hamstring gets to open? Shoulders down and back. Then turn that leg out and go ahead and take it wide and out to the side. Go into these adductors and other hamstring. Breathe and hold. Find some tissues that are feeling restricted. You can even kind of go in and out of it a little bit. So squeeze them, tighten them up a little bit. If that's the adductor, that's where I'm feeling it, this inside. So I'm going to go into it a little bit and then let it open back up. And back. And then go ahead and switch sides. Find neutral again in your pelvis before you really pull on your leg. Send that opposite leg out, opening up that hip flexor and quad. Going into the hamstring on this side. Breathe. And then pull it out. Open it wide. And once again, if you feel that inner thigh or that hamstring contracted, squeeze into it a little bit and then let it open again. And bring it up. Go ahead and replace that or set the strap down on your side. Pelvic tilts once more. See if that's nice and smooth. And then roll over onto your hands and knees. Use that open shoulder position that we found. Tuck your toes under, press up into a downward facing dog pose. Just like when we did that bend, find this neutral position through your spine. So even here, the shoulder blades get to pull down towards your armpits a little bit and then slide toward your ears. Your butt muscles lift to the sky unless you have a really big arch somewhere else. If you find that you're collapsed at your kidneys, then puff those up a little bit. Find where you can have more opening, more stability, more of a container. Locking in. And then rise standing. Let's do that one more time. Take it over, down to the floor, hip hinging. Use your hamstrings and your glutes. Pull them back up. Once more, down. Slight bend if you need to. If not, keep your legs straight. Over and hip hinge. Come all the way back up. Awesome. Let's do one balance today. Let's just do a tree pose. So feet on the floor. You may choose to place your foot at low at your ankle or bring it up above your knee. And then press your foot into your leg and your leg into your foot evenly and just find balance there. Feel all those ankle muscles work to hold you. And then if you're feeling ready, take your arms up higher, lengthen your levers. Literally rooting to rise. Find that glute pressing down through the foot that helps root so that the rest of your body can rise up, helping the foot stay grounded, energy beyond where it's just resting on the earth. And release. Second side. Again, ankle or above that knee. And then press. Foot into leg, leg into foot. Find this glute. Hold it. Think of all the forces that change when we shift our weight completely onto one leg. How we balance. It's pretty remarkable that we can do it. My teacher said whenever they design robots that can or try to walk upstairs, try to open doors, all of the functions of our body are pretty remarkable that it's very difficult to replicate all those things without them falling over. Because balancing this much weight over little feet and then all that cross body patterning that we do to help balance in space is really hard to replicate in a machine. Release. Oh, go up. Let's go up first. Take it up. Excellent. And bring it all the way down. Good. Up on your toes 10 times. We're going to move those femurs around in their sockets. Collarbone straight ahead, rib cage stable, hip bones straight across, up and down. 10 times. Then toes out. Same thing. All right, here. There we go. And then pigeon toe all the way together. Really rotate those leg bones, push the knees out. Feel that rotation happen. Everything stable here. And then up 10 times. And back to neutral, last ones. Hold it up there. Ankle stability, leg stability, neutral everywhere. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Good, one deep breath. Just feel that on the ground as you stand there, and just notice how much more balanced that is. Hopefully everything is feeling stacked and is working well. And then go ahead and find your position for your meditation, seated or on your back or in static back, whatever feels right for you today. Go ahead and just tune back into your own breathing. Notice the sensations that exist right here in the moment. If a thought arises, can you notice it without being taken with it? Be the curious observer of what's arising at any moment. As you lie here or sit here, send perfect healing energy to your toes, healing energy and light to your ankles, to your lower legs, to your knees, all the way to the atoms and the cells. Send perfect health to your upper legs, and into your hips. Special love to your low back and to all of the places that need to be both stable and mobile in your low back. And into your upper back and your ribs. And your shoulders. Send beautiful healing light into your upper arms and your elbows and your forearms and your hands. And then back through your arms to your neck and your head, and then up past your head, surrounding your whole body, just engulfing your whole body in perfect healing light. And then amplify it because you're doing it with your friends. Feel the support of this community around your optimal health. If you are in a state that you would like to stay in, please turn off your computer. Otherwise, slowly come back around and we'll have a little visit before we say goodbye.